In 1775, Swedish chemist Carl Wilhelm Scheele created the perfect hue of vivid green by combining sodium carbonate, arsenious oxide, and copper sulfate. The color was a bright fluorescent-like green that glowed in the sunlight. But there was something that troubled Scheele. A year before the color went into production, he wrote to a friend that he thought users might want to know about its poisonous nature. So why was this color so poisonous? In case you didn't pick up on what the key ingredient was, Scheele's green was loaded with copper arsenite, one of the deadliest elements to have ever been discovered. Despite its character flaws, Scheele's green striking color was cheap to make. It became extremely popular and profitable. You could find this arsenic-laced color in candy, paper, toys, and medicine. It was also used as a dye for clothing and accessories, even as a colorant for the leaves of flowers to make them look more alive and vibrant. Empress Eugenie, the most notable it girl of her time, adored green. She thought it brought out the gold in her hair. And even if this wasn't true, the gold dust she sprinkled on her hairline certainly helped. Green wallpaper was also wildly popular at the time, and as the Romantic movement began to gain steam, it became even more fashionable to deck out your parlor or drawing room in scenes of stylized strawberry vines or green tulips. William Morris, who was a British textile designer, poet, artist, and novelist associated with the British arts and crafts movement, was highly skeptical of the claims that arsenic could be dangerous. But as the heir to a copper mine which produced arsenic dust as a byproduct of mining activity, he would be. By the mid-19th century, various cases of illnesses and deaths were becoming linked to the dye. It was also found that damp walls covered in Scheele's green wallpaper produced a poisonous acid. 1870, Morris finally bowed to public pressure and began using arsenic-free greens in his workshops. Morris thought because no one was ill in his house from the arsenic wallpaper, it must be something else that was causing the sickness. That no one was sick seemed extraordinary, but then again, many people had green wallpaper and survived. Napoleon was famously believed to have been poisoned by his wallpaper, though modern X-ray analysis has found that there was enough arsenic present capable of causing illness, but probably not death. Still, arsenic was everywhere. Bakers used arsenic green as food coloring, and some restaurants even added it to their drinks. Years later, UK legislators finally set limits on the acceptable amount of arsenic in food. Although there were shades of blue and yellow made through a similar process that also included arsenic, those dyes didn't get quite the same bad rap as Scheele's green or Paris green. Paris green is another famously poisonous green invented as emerald green in 1814 by two chemists attempting to produce an improved pigment over Scheele's green. Green was the color that was always seen as the culprit, simply because it was so desirable at the time. To think a color so vibrant and beautiful would become synonymous with the color of death and claim many a Victorian fashion victim. By the time European, British, and American governments got around to regulating arsenic, the vivid green wallpaper had already fallen out of fashion. Just as avocado green was the green of 1970s America, Scheele's green feels like a relic of the long-gone Romantic era.